This is Midnight Fantasy by Britney Spears, and I'm not going to be the first person by a mile who's talked about this on YouTube. Many people, I'm sure, have talked about it, but I'm very fussy, so I thought I'd fill you in on my search for a blueberry perfume. Now, this is not a blueberry perfume. It doesn't have blueberry in the notes. However, a lot of people, when I've read kind of threads about finding a blueberry perfume, a lot of people suggest this and say it smells like blueberry. So I thought it would be worth trying, and it definitely was worth trying, actually, this one. So if I take it out of the box, because this one's quite new to me. I just got a little 30ml, and I got this from Boots. I got fingerprints all over it because I just moisturised my hands. So I got this one from Boots, and they have this on special offer at the moment. I'm trying to find the best angle to make it look prettiest, because this bottle's so pretty. Oh, it just doesn't look great in any of my lights, but oh well. Anyway, that'll have to do. So this one, yeah, like I said, I think I got this for about £11 maybe, which is the cheapest I could find it. Without having to pay for the delivery, basically, because I bought some other stuff from Boots, but also you can do click and collect from Boots if you spend, I think, like 15 quid for free. So I got this, and I got a few other things, and then I went and collected it, so I didn't have to pay lots of money to have it delivered. So this little guy is, firstly, this is a lovely bottle. I like this bottle very much. I think it's definitely my favourite that I've seen of the Britney bottles. It's a beautiful colour. It's perfect for, to be called midnight. It's just glorious. I'm actually wondering if I can try and get this just to kind of illuminate it in a good way. That's probably going to be painful to look at, so I won't be able to leave it like that. There we go. All right, that'll have to just do. I'll try not to knock this over now. This weird little this little light I'm using. So the notes in this one, the top notes are plum, sour cherry and raspberry. Middle notes orchid, iris and freesia. Base notes vanilla, amber and musk. So I knew this was going to be sweet. Some people said that this wasn't like the sweetest of her perfumes. It wasn't massively sweet. And I mean, for me, this is still super sweet. But it's not unbearably sweet as I think some of her perfumes are to me. So for instance, like the Private Show ones they're just unbelievably cloying for me. This one I was quite surprised by and happy about. And for some weird reason, yes, the plum and the sour cherry and the raspberry together, I think this smells like blueberry. More specifically, with the sweetness that's in here, I think it smells exactly like blueberry muffins. Especially when you first spray it. I think it really smells like blueberry muffins. It has a tartness to it and a tanginess to it, which is really, really nice, but it's very, very sweet, really sugary. But yeah, that vanilla mixed with that, it just gives it a blueberry muffin vibe. So I'm partially in love with this perfume. The only downside to it is that the longer I wear it, the more shampooey it starts to smell. So at that point, it smells less like an actual blueberry muffin and more like a blueberry muffin flavoured shampoo. And I'm not mad for shampooey scents, but I think I like the general scent of this enough to kind of get over the fact that it definitely goes a bit shampooey. And I find that with so many celebrity perfumes that I like, and I think that they smell really good, but they get really shampooey. Because I feel the same about Justin Bieber's The Key. I think that's a really nice perfume. There's something kind of magical about that, but it really gets very shampooey, and I find that quite difficult to wear sometimes. But again, I think maybe I just cannot wear this kind of thing in the summer. I cannot wear shampooey scents when it's hot, because they start to get a bit I don't know how to, they start to smell cheap, I think, is how I feel about shampooey perfumes when it's really hot weather. They just get really strong and smell a bit cheap and smell more and more soapy in a kind of sharp and synthetic way. But I think I will really like this in winter. So I'm definitely holding on to this one because I quite like the idea of smelling like a blueberry muffin. And even if it goes a bit shampooey, I think if the weather's quite cool, I don't think that's going to like be bothersome to me. Oh, I think it's really nice, this one. I've smelt many Britney Spears perfumes and I don't massively like any of them. Fantasy, the original, I can just about live with, but it's not one that I actively enjoy. I just think it's okay, like, or at least if it smelled a bit better on my personal skin, I think I'd like it more. I don't think the vanilla in that perfume works too well on my skin. For some reason, some vanillas just don't work very well on me. They get a tiny bit antiseptic, so you know that kind of ruins the lovely kind of chocolatey cupcake kiwi vibe of that perfume for me. And that's my skin. That's not that perfume's fault. But of all the other Britneys I've smelt, this is the only one I really genuinely like. And it's probably the one that's the safest because it is sweet, but it's definitely not as sweet as all the other ones that I've smelt from her. I think the only one I've smelt that's kind of on this level is Believe, but that is like an absolute patchouli bomb. So kind of all of the kind of tart, nice fruits mixed with the sugary smell in that one just becomes horrific to me because it's so full of patchouli. And I'd like that one if it didn't have patchouli, I think. But this, I think, is a really safe blind buy. If you want to smell like a blueberry muffin, this is your girl. This is your girl.